What's going on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all platforms? Welcome to another episode of New York Giants Full Access. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to get into the intros, and we're going to talk about Malik Nabers chooses his new number and waiver wire, roster transactions, everything. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access with Bigpatssportstalk, where you get the latest and realest Giants news and content. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Want to talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk and become an official Big Blue Crew member? Hit the join button in the description. Wanna look fly is some Big Pat Sports Talk merch? Head over to the Big Pat Sports Shop and grab you some gear. The link is in the description.
New York Giants Full Access, all Giants, all the time. All right, Giants fans. New York Giants Full Access is now live. Enjoy the show.
All right. In my Kevin Hart voice, what's going on, man? Thank you guys for tuning in. As you guys know, this is New York Giants Full Access. We're going to get into the show. Let me give my shout outs in the beginning. And I will be starting a new segment on the show to where you guys can comment and I'll answer all your comments in that section. Give about 30 minutes to do that. So you guys keep commenting in the chat. We're going to keep reading them, and we're going to give you guys a full section to yourselves where you can ask us anything and we'll respond. Iman, thank you for tuning in. He says they unretiring jerseys for this man. He better get 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. Hey, it is what it is, man. He's a special player, and shout out to the family of the guy that was retired. I always forget his name, but he was the first player ever to be retired. So yeah, there are some expectations for him getting that for sure. Deception, what's going on? He says, I think he'll have a modest 2,200 yard, 26 TD season, nothing too crazy. All right. Hey, coach, what's going on? He says, hit that like button, subscribe and notify and share for Big Pat and the Big Blue Crew and the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Thank you guys. Wells, subscribe to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. The link is in the chat. I will put it back in the chat throughout the show. Ryan Davis, thank you for tuning in. He says, deception, that means DJ stared down his target for 26 TDs. That's a fact. Wales, he says, I love it. Fans actually rooting for their team. Let's go, G-Man. That is a fact. Ryan Davis again, he says, Wales, real fans root for the team no matter what. That is an absolute fact. Iman says, what up to everybody? JC NYC, thank you for tuning in, brother, and appreciate all the support that you give. Iman says, I like that D-line drill. Okay. Jarius, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Iman, salute to the Big Blue Crew family. Salute to you guys for always supporting. Reason why the Big Blue Crew is in production. Daniel Berry Sports on Lou's channel. He says, hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Appreciate it. Average Beast. What's going on? Number one, you doggone right with number one. Tyrone Hall, appreciate you. New guy that comes to the channel, member of Big Pat Sports Talk, talking his talk. He says Hall of Famer family gives up hollow jersey number, but Gano's TA won't part with number 9. Well, that's not particularly true. Malik Nabers never wanted number 9. Gano came out and said that he never wanted the number 9. He said he would have easily gave up number 9 to Malik Nabers if he wanted that number. He did not want number 9. He wanted number 1. Ryan Davis, he says, Pat, seeing you on Paul's Live, good to see he looks at this team, especially DJ with the glass half full like us, refreshing. Yeah, P-Dot's a real cat, man. He's going to give his honest opinion, and he's not going to be super negative, and he's not going to be overboard. He's going to give his honest opinion and see exactly what the team could actually do to get better. Same view that we do here with the Big Blue Crew. Wells, Iman, he says, has that ever happened, Pat? Unretiring a jersey? I know Joe Namath wanted to do it for Rodgers. I have to look that up. I haven't seen that happen. Somebody unretiring a jersey for a player. I haven't seen that happen. This is one of the first instances I've ever seen it, to be honest with you, Iman. Tudo, what's going on? He says, everyone in the chat, please don't be a ninja watcher. Hit that like button and subscribe to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network and support the cause and do something about it. Thank you, Tudo, for putting the link in the chat. Put NYG's link in the chat. Put G Nation's link in the chat. My link in the chat. They did it for Peyton Manning. Okay. In Denver. Okay. Wells link in the chat. Man, thank you guys. Lane Kerner, thank you for tuning in. And NYG Frank, thank you for tuning in. Says, thanks for giving me the truth regarding the jersey number. Let's go, number 1. Yes, sir. He wanted number 1 from the beginning, and I guess he was in contact with that particular player's family, and they finally allowed him to get that jersey number. Shout out to that family, because that number means a lot to that family. He was the very first person to ever get their jersey retired, and they allowed Malik Nabers to get that jersey. What's going on, Coach?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. Just going through the jersey number for oh my goodness,
Nabers.
for Malik Nabers. Yeah, he wanted number 1 the whole time.
Yeah,
Kurt, what's going on? Joe, what's going on? Tally, what's going on? Bobby Powers, what's going on? Hey, Lou, you got some static in the background with your microphone.
I don't hear that bullying.
Yeah, I'm telling you got some static. Sound like, remember the old TVs used to come on? Lane Kearney says, how do you feel about Brian Daboll and Dave Gettleman and Daniel Jones and Evan Neal and DJ for the Giants this season in 2024? Who? Dave who? I don't know who that is. What's going on, NYG?
What's goody, baby?
Good to see you.
You hear me now?
Yeah, it's still loud.
Thought you said it was static. Now you said it's loud. Which one is it?
No, the static part is loud. If you guys haven't checked out NYG's video earlier today that he made about the San Francisco 49ers, are they one of the most disappointing franchises the past 30 years?
How about now?
Yeah, you're good now, Lou. It's very entertaining, and it's actually, I've said that to myself, they're actually more disappointing than the Cowboys. They actually, the last time they've been in the Super Bowl was 94, which is exactly 30 years. And they've been in the NFC Championship game. I did not know this, or the Super Bowl, the past 7 out of the last 13 years. They've been in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. Go to this man's channel and like and subscribe if you want videos as such. He says the things that a lot of people are thinking, but they don't say it out loud. He will. So if you want those informative videos, give you very good knowledge about football teams in general, go to NYG's channel, Unpopular Opinion Sports. Tudo put the link in the chat earlier. Very good video, and I laughed my ass off because that is very true. There's some idiots.
Salute, man. Appreciate
you,
bro.
Yep. Shout out to Big Dash. Shout out to Nathan McCartney. Shout out to Javi. Thank you guys for tuning in. Now, you guys weren't here, but I think we should start putting a section in each one of our shows. Give the fans about 25 to 30 minutes where we answer all their comments. They could give us their comments during that particular section of the show, so we could give everybody a chance, to get a response from the Big Blue Crew right here on the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. It makes it a little easier on us, and it makes it easier for us to get to your comments, and it's more of a one-on-one session, So we're gonna do that. Probably I'll always do it probably around the hour mark, where we'll do that 30 minutes, and then if we want to go further more on the show, we'll do a little bit more on the show after that. So thank you guys for always tuning in. We always appreciate you guys' comments. So it just makes it a little bit easier on us, to be honest with you. So speaking of the New York Giants, Malik Nabers gets a jersey that was previously retired. I think it's only happened like 3 times with Peyton Manning. Malik Nabers, I think it was somebody else. I'm not sure. I could have sworn somebody with the Eagles did that too, but how do you think Malik Nabers looks in his new jersey, man, with the number 1? Does that number fit him? I think it does. I think it looks dope. I thought he was going to get number 2, but he got number 1. How do you guys feel about that? And thank you for the 65 that's in the chat. Hit that like and subscribe button for us right here on the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. And how y'all like the new overlay? I gotta teach.
That's dope.
I gotta teach my guys how to make this overlay like this, man. This is dope.
That's dope.
How do you guys feel about Malik Nabers going into the season? There is, hold on, and Wells, thank you for doing what you did earlier.
Salute, Wells.
He actually put this in a message. I don't know if you guys can see it well, but he says, where does Malik Nabers come into this equation? Top rookie seasons for NFL receivers. Puka Nacua has the record with 1,486 yards and 6 touchdowns. Then
you
Bill
might have
Bowman,
to
I can't put it.
You can't?
No. Best thing I could do was that.
That's better. That's better. That's much better. Yep.
Okay, you got Puka Nacua at 1,486 yards. Just last year, he had 160 targets with 105 catches and 6 touchdowns. Bill Groman, old school, getting it done, 1,473 yards back in 1960. Only 14 games played, had 72 receptions, and had 12 touchdowns. He averaged 20 yards per catch that year. That's crazy. Jamar Chase in 2021, 1,455, played in all 17 games, got 13 touchdowns, and he had 128 targets. Justin Jefferson, and the year before that, 1,400 yards, 125 targets, 7 touchdowns. And you got Anquan Bolden. I remember that season. He balled out 1,377. Randy Moss's historic rookie season was 17 touchdowns and 1,313 yards. Our own Odell Beckham back in 2014 had 91 catches for 12 touchdowns, and he had 130 targets that year. That's crazy. In only 12 games, 130 targets in 12 games. That is ridiculous. Then you have Billy Halton back in 52 getting it done with 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns. Yeah, Michael Clayton. I don't know if y'all remember him from the Buccaneers.
I remember Michael Clayton.
LSU back in 2004. He was nice until he got hurt. 1,193 yards and 7 touchdowns on 122 targets. Michael Thomas, 1,137, 121 targets and nine touchdowns. And then Terry Glenn.
Glenn,
dang. That's going back.
That's old
back in
school.
1996 with the Patriots. Had 1,132 yards and 6 touchdowns. And Bill Brooks back with the Colts in 86 had 65 catches and eight touchdowns that season. So where do you guys think he fits? And the main thing, does he get the over the 100 targets this year to be one of the top 10 rookie receivers as far as production? You guys answer that question for me. Does he get that done? NYG, if you want to start off.
Yeah, absolutely. He does get that done, and I'm looking at I think that's Justin Jefferson with the 125 right there.
Yes.
Nabers easily gets that.
Explain why.
Because he's basically going to be the setup man for the offense.
Force feed that man.
And yes, and he's going to be the setup man for the offense, because when they come out in these sets, in these 3 wide receiver sets, 4 wide receiver sets, guess what? They're gonna be able to move Nabers from the outside to the slot, from the slot to the backfield, from the backfield, to the other, whatever. They're gonna be able to move him all around that offense, and you're not gonna know where he's gonna line up at. And guess what? He's good at every spot in the lineup. So yeah, he's going to be open and he's gonna get the targets. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely see him getting around that 12 to 1,300 yard mark and that 125 targets easily. You know what I'm saying? Now, if things break down, you get a bunch of injuries, quarterback play, or whatever you want to say, it maybe not. But even still, I think if this offensive line holds up, I think we good money.
Okay, Coach, what you think, Coach?
No, he doesn't. Okay. And the reason why I say that is teams are going to try and zero in on him, and the offense is going to have to go to other guys, because the defenses are going to think that they can easily lock up the other guys. And they're going to try and work on, even if he's in the slot, they're going to roll coverages to try and take him away and force someone else to step up. And when those guys do step up, it's going to make the offense that much more dynamic. But then once you become comfortable with it, you're just going to spread the ball around.
That's a fact.
See that?
Lou, what you think, Lou?
I think that they're going to attempt to take him away, but I think he's going to shock the world and rise above it, high point the ball, still catch contested catches, and just break away and create space and do miraculous things. It's going to be like Angels in the Outfield, NFL version.
Okay. To be honest, right. To be honest,
that hurt.
I don't think he reaches the Odell Beckham season. I think he could get in the top 10 with 1,200 yards, somewhere around there. But don't be disappointed if this man does not go for over 1,500 yards or something like that. And the reason why I say that is because of Wan'Dale Robinson. I truly believe Wan'Dale Robinson is going to get a lot of targets this year. Reason why they're going to have to use Wan'Dale Robinson, especially in the beginning of the season, to set the tone for the offense.
Yeah, he on your fantasy team, ain't he?
I mean, yeah, it's not because of that.
I was just messing with you, bro.
But I just think this offense is going to have to attack inside out. Reason why is because Malik Nabers had such a good offseason going into the league, and there's been so much hype about Malik Nabers that people are going to want to take him away to prove a point. And to get those type of stats you seen Puka Nacua got the record. He had 160 targets that year.
Crazy.
That is absolutely crazy. I think that was the same amount of targets something like Marvin Harrison had when he set the catch record that year.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys really think that we can get the ball to Malik Nabers 130, 140 times? Is that going to be good for the team? Because believe it or not, I think Slayton's going to get a decent amount of targets this year too, because Daniel Jones is familiar with Darius Slayton. Whether you don't like those two dudes or not, they have a chemistry.
That's the fact.
And so Slayton's going to get his targets. Now, do I believe that Nabers can get close to 100 targets this year? That could be very well true. But the thing about that is, I don't think Malik Nabers is going to average over 20 yards a catch like some of those guys on that list, because the attention that he's going to bring. He's a rookie, but people are already calling him one of the better receivers in the league, and he hasn't touched the field yet. And if you're a professional athlete, you're going to take that as personal.
Mm-hmm.
This dude ain't stepped on the field one snap yet, but
and you know what, Pat? Not to cut you, bro, but this is where Dable and Kafka need to get in a bag.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Because if you brought Malik Nabers in to be the engine to this offense, let's keep it a buck. You gotta find ways to get him the football. He's the most explosive player on this team. Right now.
Force feed him. Pause.
I mean, to a degree, yeah. I mean, you don't want to go crazy with it, yeah.
No, I mean, but they're going to do what they did with Beckham. They're gonna throw him slants. They're gonna try to get the ball in his hands as many ways as possible. And I agree that Wan'Dale Robinson is gonna get a lot of airtime because they're gonna try to bracket Nabers. They're gonna try to double him. They're gonna try to bump him off his route. And Wan'Dale's gonna have some free spaces, and so will Bellinger, and so will Slayton and Hyatt. That's why I've been saying the greatest show on turf, Big Blue version, because we have the weapons now. As long as this O-line holds up, like all of us have been saying, if this O-line could be middle of the run, the NFL got problems on their hands with the Giants.
That's
Big
a fact.
facts.
DJ is the Terminator. Thank you for the $2 super chat. He says just got in. Who's pooping the cow? What in the world? Puka Nacua. That's what I said. Puka. What's his name? Puka Nacua. There you go. I guess that's his name. Doggone DJ is the Terminator, making jokes. All right, Lane Kerner, he says the Giants going to have to cut players from the 53-man roster if they decide to bring in some more people from waivers. Yes. Ghost Dog, he says point blank period. He has an O-line and Nabers now. It's on DJ's shoulders now. We're going to talk about that next. So thank you for that comment. He says 6 targets a game is 102 targets on a season. That sounds very reasonable. Yeah, that's why I said 100 targets, Dash, because I did that math in my head too. I do believe you should be able to get him at least 6 to 7 targets a game. And if he gets to 7 targets a game, that is 120. I just don't think a partial to my crew members, I don't think they should force feed him the ball, because I think we have enough people and enough receivers.
I'm not saying they should. I'm saying they're going to.
Well, I'm just saying I don't think they should. I'm not saying you said they should, but you're saying they are going to do it, and I don't think they have to do it because you have Wan'Dale Robinson, because you have Hyatt, because you have Slayton, because you have Bellinger and Theo Johnson. And to be honest with you, because you have a better offensive line this year. You see what I'm saying? So now you can get those deeper routes going, especially if they play like they did together during the first preseason game, giving Daniel Jones time. I don't think you have to force feed him the ball. Now, let's go back to, I think that was Ghost Dog's comment. If I can get back to that comment, I don't even know where is that. Oh, here we go.
Point
blank period. He has an O-line and Nabers now. Laugh out loud. It's on DJ's shoulders now.
It is.
Now let's have a reasonable conversation about DJ. That was a very good point. It is all on DJ this season. It's up to him to play the part as far as being a franchise quarterback. You were paid. They did go get you a number one weapon. They did go get you a veteran offensive line, which I've been asking for this team for years because we
Facts.
don't have the luxury of just putting out young guys out there because we didn't have the coaching to get those guys ready in order to play as rookies or first year guys. So we got some 5-year veterans, 6-year veterans. I think Runyon is like a 7 or 8-year veteran. I'm gonna ask you guys this: how much is it on Daniel Jones to perform this season with the New York Giants? Like, is there? Let's just say the offensive line is ranked 20th, 20th, 21st, anywhere between there, which is a whole lot better than 34th.
Yeah, I would like to see him in the teens, maybe low teens.
That's
18,
asking a bit
18,
much,
yeah.
but it can happen. But I'm just saying, let's just go
personally,
with 20.
you know what I'm saying?
Let's go with
All right.
let's go with 20. Let's because go from 32 into in the top 10 or top 15. That's
not top 15.
Whoa, that's
I mean,
a whole
like
180.
low teens, like 18ish, 19.
Okay,
17,
let's go with 18.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say they get to 18, like you just said. What do you expect DJ to do? And just give me your full analysis of it.
I expect him to, you know, much like Lou said. I mean, I'm not gonna go with Lou's numbers, but I expect him to have a good season, pretty much, you know. And to me, he has to show people, like, as an athlete, you know, sometimes you it's like I see something mental with Daniel Jones, man. So I feel like maybe he comes into the season with a little bit of chip on his shoulder, and that may help him play a little more aggressive, a little looser, pause. And you know, I think he needs to come out and show people like, hey, look, I'm not a bum quarterback. You know, I can put up numbers. I can put up stats. I can get my team points, you know. So that's what he should do. Now, what I mean, to me, it's about health with Daniel Jones. And that's what a lot of people don't talk about. How many full seasons has Daniel Jones played in his career? I think one.
One. I think
Right.
one.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, one.
That was 2022, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. That was one.
Yeah. So that's always been my main thing with Daniel Jones recently, you know, is because you have this health thing. You know, that's why we're having some of the conversations about the backup quarterback, yada, yada, yada. But again, it's really about health, because when he's out there and the line is performing and they're able to, we've seen him perform. We've seen it. I've watched film, you know, but when things break down and there's a panic situation, Daniel Jones is not going to be the one to bail you out of it. And I think that's what a lot of fans expect. But there ain't but like two motherfuckers can do that. You know what I mean? So that's why you have to understand that every quarterback can't do that. You know, you're looking at highlights. You're not looking at film. When things break down, I've seen the best of them get knocked down. So that's where Daniel Jones has to show. Like, look, when it's supposed to be how it is, and you have a good offensive line, I expect you to put up Jared Goff-like numbers. I expect you to reach, you know, the heights of some who I feel mediocre quarterbacks, but they just have good teams around them and good offensive lines. I expect that from Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? Because now everything, it's not all chaos around you no more. Focus. But go ahead.
Lou, what you got, Lou?
I'm just reading the comments. How's the run game gonna fare? Run game sucks. If they shut down the run and just play coverage on our receivers. My thing is this. I've been saying all year that our run is going to be predominantly short passing out of the backfield to our running backs. They didn't show you nothing that they're going to do during preseason because you don't want to show your hand. So all of the people who were flipping shit on social media, on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, because they didn't see the type of plays run that they wanted to see during preseason, you guys aren't football analysts or former football players or coaches, or you can't be, because the stuff that you're saying makes no sense. These preseason games are evaluation only. You're not scheming, you're not trying to win, you're trying to see who you're going to keep, who's going to work where, who's going to fit in what scheme, and you do your cut down process from that. So that bland ass bullshit you seen during preseason, pardon my French, is not what you're gonna see in the NFL season. And I'm telling you guys who don't believe that when this team steps out on the field week 1 and that O-line starts to plow through people as DJ is carving them up like a Thanksgiving turkey, I'm gonna sit here and make the biggest "I told you so" video in the world. And I believe every guy on this panel should too, because they've all been getting it on social media for saying logical facts. Every last one of them is giving you football facts from different angles, because we all have our own flavor and our own way to serve it up. But we've all given you the same stats, the same reasoning, the same logic, breakdowns, film reviews, predictions, and all y'all do is say crazy stuff in the comments, come after us on Twitter and say crazy stuff, put words in our mouth. But when we bring you guys up here and give you a platform to speak your piece, you run in circles, you can't substantiate none of your arguments, and you make a fool out yourself, and you hurt the quality of the show, which is why we've chosen to not address some of these comments anymore. But I wanted to state that in a few weeks, the big "I told you so" video is coming. The big
shout out
video.
Shout out to a couple more people in the chat. Average Beast, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. He says
Average.
They didn't retire a number that nobody could wear for 90 years for him to put modest numbers. They all going to feed him. OBJ rookie records on deck. Hey, that's very true. They unretired a number for him, so that's very true. JC brings up a couple of good things as well. And Kanoski Horton, thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. This is a very good thing. We're going to talk about that in the very next segment after me and Coach goes. Coach, what do you think?
And DJ still has.
No, I know you're not one of the DJ haters, Mr. Rick Buck. Sorry, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. Yeah, I understand the DJ still has to show something. I mean, it's understandable with everything that he's been through, in terms of not having the resources around him. So I believe there's the talent there. Just has to put it together and show it, and shake off the cobwebs, as I like to say, the mental blocks, because I understand, you've been smacked around and you're gun shy to a certain extent, but now is your opportune time. They've given you all the resources that you have been lacking for the most part, so now go out there and prove the world wrong. So do I think he has the tools to do it? Yes, I do. He just has to do it. And he has to overcome himself and get out of his own head. And I think if he does that, he has a good chance of being successful. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, that's a fact, Coach. Just to piggyback off that, that's what I wanted to talk about as well. I believe this whole season is just going to be on DJ getting out his own head, getting out of I can't make a mistake anymore. Because they're building this offense to where, if a mistake happens, we could come back the next drive and make up for that mistake like every good team does. Patrick Mahomes makes mistakes. He's not perfect. But they have the team to come back on the field and make up for that mistake and then overcome the mistake the very next drive. You see what I'm saying? They can throw a pick and allow the team to come down to get a touchdown, and then all of a sudden they can run off 2 touchdowns in a row, and everybody forgets about the pick that he just threw. So they're building a team like that, and it's all on DJ this season. I haven't never made any excuses. I just point out what the weaknesses of the team. If your offensive line cannot block and you can't get a running game going consistently, your quarterback is going to struggle. I don't care who the quarterback is and what team it is.
You become one-dimensional, and then they can just pin their ears back and go at it. Pause.
Yeah, so that's and this is one thing that JC mentioned. He says also DJ still likes to put his head down and get hit. Needs to slide more and protect his neck. That's a very true statement.
Protect
that's
the neck.
A very true statement. He's very reckless when he scrambles sometimes, and he takes some unnecessary hits. That is very true. But to get to the next segment, what I was going to say is, what does this team need to do in order to be the team that we believe they can be this year? And shout out to Kanisky Horton. He says, 1, take care of the ball. 2, give our receivers a chance to catch deep down the field, play smart, be able to read coverages, and take what the defense gives you. We good. That's a very good statement that you put right there. So NYG, what are your keys for this offense and this team in general to be good this season?
I think what Horton says there is spot on. I would add that they need to be mentally tough. And what I mean by that is, when you getting your teeth kicked in, we've seen a lot of these Giants teams in recent history kind of fold, kind of tuck their tails, as they say, or whatever, and mail it in. When things get sticky, this team has to be able to weather the storm, because look, it's not going to be easy. We understand, we have deficiencies on this squad. We have strengths, we have weaknesses, like most NFL teams. But, our weaknesses are going to show. And the better teams are able to weather those storms, and not get down on themselves, so to speak. So I think that's one of the main things. And this coaching staff has got to step up too. I was very critical of Brian Daboll last year, up until the last part of the season, where he kind of turned it around a little bit, but you gotta have this team prepared. A lot of us have been saying that the starters should have played a little bit in the final preseason game or whatever, man. And the main reason I was saying that is because of preparation for game 1. This team for years has not been prepared at the start of the season, one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Even
forever.
Right, Lou. And even when the game we did win, Tennessee game, we started slow. We was behind in that game and had to come back. Miracle.
To be honest with you, NYG was behind in all those games. That's why we had 6. That's why DJ had 6 comeback victories. We was behind in all those games.
So this team has to get off to a fast start. And that's on the coaching. That's on the players too. I get it, but the coaching has to have this team mentally prepared, man, and they got to be on their game plan and these things, because the Giants just aren't. They can't out talent you like the Cowboys. The Cowboys can out talent you. The Eagles can out talent you because they're more talented on the roster. This Giants team, they're gonna have to outcoach a lot of teams, and that's just one of the main things that I'm watching. But you got it.
That's a very good point. We are going to have to outcoach some teams because, to be honest with you, we are the most talented roster in the NFC East. The Cowboys roster is still more talented. The Eagles roster is still more talented. That's just a fact. And shout out to Mission Man. I ain't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well with you and your family, Mission Man.
Glad what's good, man? Long time no see, bro.
You're right on that. They're gonna have to outcoach some people. And speaking of outcoaching people, coach, well, how do you feel about it?
Um, they're gonna have to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And what do I mean by that? That means establishing the run first and foremost. All right. To Horton's point, taking care of the run. I mean, taking care of the ball. So you have to run to be able to do that to set up play action. Especially also when you're running, making sure you protect the ball, 5 points of pressure. To give our receivers a chance downfield, that's where the play action comes into play. Be smart about it, be able to read the coverage. So playing on establishing an effective running game. If you are able to do that, it really opens up the offense a whole lot more. And if you play on that other side of the ball, other side of the line of scrimmage, it also helps your defense. And we need them to play together collectively as a team. It's very important that this team plays like this. They have to play together. They have to complement each other. And the best way to complement your defense is an effective running game. Now, Dable, if he doesn't want to, I'm not saying he has to run the football 40 times a game, but the run game has to be effective, and the offensive line has to impose their will and force the defensive line to play, basically get pushed into the linebacker's face. And that's what you want to see. You don't want their defensive line pushing your offensive line back, especially in the run game. You want to push them on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So you got it, Pat.
Oh, that's a fact. Lou, are you there? If not, I'll go. Okay, Lou's not there, so I'll go. I do believe we have to control both lines of scrimmage, coach. You've always been a stickler of that, controlling the line of scrimmage, because if you can control the line of scrimmage in the game, more times than not, you're going to win. If you could get pressure in that quarterback's face with your defensive line, if you can control the time of possession with your offensive line, that's a recipe for success, as long as you're not turning over the ball. Only way you really can get beat if you're controlling both lines of scrimmage is if you're turning over the ball and giving the other offense short fields and things of such. And that just comes to playing, shall I say, mistake-free football this year. I don't want to say just play like mistake-free football, because I believe that's what is slowing Daniel Jones down as far as going out there and just playing the quarterback position. When you're thinking about, I can't turn over the ball here, I can't make that throw, is a little tight, and I don't want to throw an interception, because if we throw an interception, we won't be able to recover from it. That makes the quarterback look like a little slow in his process, and it looks like he's a little timid out there on the field, and that cannot happen. Because if you're playing timid, you're really playing not to lose. You're not playing to win. And that's a horrible, horrible way to play, especially when you don't have a super talented roster. You don't have that luxury of not going out there trying to force the ball down the field, trying to make some plays happen, because you don't have that roster like the 49ers can. Brock Purdy can play not to win. He can play just not to make a mistake, because their roster is so talented that it takes over. Back to what NYG was saying. The 49ers can out-talent just about everybody in the league, and that's a fact. That's why Brock Purdy can be, I would say, mediocre, and he looks like a superstar because of the talent around him. The Ayuks, the Deebo Samuels, the George Kittles, Christian McCaffreys, the offensive line, the defensive line, the defense period. Okay, Brock Purdy can throw 3 interceptions in the game, and that defense could get that other team off the field, those 3 possessions, and it's still 0-0. And all he has to do is go out there and get the ball to his playmakers and make some plays. And guess what? 49ers win. But go ahead, Lou. I know you got something you want to say.
No, I was agreeing with you. All he has to do is go out there and try again. That's what the good GMs and the good owners and the good coaches do. You bring talent in, you develop them, you coach them up, and you put them in a position to win. You bring the next group in, you coach them up, and by the time these guys are phasing out, you're phasing the new guys that you've been coaching up in, and you continue that process, and you have a continued recipe for sustained success. But when you have a microwave society that wants everything now, a guy makes a few bad plays, get him out of here. Mistake, oh, get him out of here, he's a bust. Yeah, I screamed Evan Neal is a bust at right tackle for a long time. Yeah, some people feel like he should get more playing time. I'm one of the people who said we need to move him in at guard. But I
I'm
didn't
with you.
say get him off the team. There's a
Facts.
difference. You see what I'm saying? People be like, oh, he sucks, he's a bust, get him up. No, you put him in the position where he becomes an asset to the team. People forget that this is the ultimate team sport. Every person out of that 11 people on the field has to be doing their job. One or two of them don't do their job, the whole play is gone to hell. But people want to blame the quarterback because he's the face, or people want to blame the coach because he was in a different package than they would like. If you've never coached, if you've never played, then reserve your comments from the fan section. Don't come in here talking about, and I'm not saying in here, I mean in life. Don't talk about things that you don't know, because you only make yourself sound like a moron. And that's what a lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? I see it at work all the time. People come in and apply for a job. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. You give them the task to go do it, they botch the hell out of it. Then you got to go in there and spend twice the time to fix what they messed up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what the Giants have gone through with these coaches. You brought Joe Judge in here. You brought Jason Garrett in here. They botched everything up, and now everybody expects Shane and Dable to fix it in the season.
That's not going to happen. The way this roster was constructed and the way that things were going, it was a miracle we made the playoffs that very first year. And then they have a year where all the players that they had the success with the previous year got hurt. Now all of a sudden, Dable is on the hot seat. That's crazy, which brings me to this next segment before we get to the comment section of the show. Brings me to this next segment. Y'all can thank NYG for that particular video. Y'all can thank NYG for that. Now, the reason why I created this segment, and I'm probably going to do this on a lot of New York Giants full access, is because people are not going to change. They're just going to do what they want to do, and that's cry about the New York Giants. They cry, they cry, they cry, they bash, they bash, they bash. And they don't say anything positive about this team. So my question is, and the chat, you guys can answer in the chat, why do New York Giants fans just cry about everything? Now I get it. We do need a cornerback too. That's not crying. That's just obvious. We do need a cornerback too. And the only way we were going to get them was through the waiver wire, which is not substantial because they got waived for a reason, or a trade, and another team has to be able to work with you in a trade to get a top cornerback in the league. So, but why do people just listen to the media? We got the worst roster in the league. Let's speak on that. How do we have one of the bottom tier rosters in the league? Our quarterback is not bottom tier. I don't care what you think about Daniel Jones. He's not bottom tier. He's mid. Mid is not bottom tier. Devin Singletary at the running back position. I'm just talking about the starters. Devin Singletary at the running back position is not mid. He's had success in this league on multiple teams. Mm-hmm. Our offensive line, you can say, is mid, but mid is not bottom tier. You see what I'm saying? our receiver room, you could say they're mid, but Malik Nabers and Wan'Dale Robinson, people talk about them, glorify them through the league. Our top rivals, the Cowboys and the Eagles, say Wan'Dale Robinson is that dude. Our edge rush, our front seven, one of the best in the league. You got Dexter Lawrence, all pro. You got Thibodeau that should have been a Pro Bowler. You got Brian Burns, a Pro Bowler. You got Okereke that should have been a Pro Bowler. McFadden played well. The only weakness you can see in our front seven, to be honest with you, is the defensive tackle opposite of Dexter Lawrence. And Chattman is showing that if he gets an opportunity, I think he's going to be dominant alongside Dexter Lawrence.
Man.
And McFadden showed that he can play with Bobby Okereke because they had a good chemistry last year. Now, our cornerback room, besides Deontay Banks, our secondary, yes, you can say that's bottom tier if you want to, because they haven't shown anything in the preseason as far as being able to lock somebody up. I get it. But one part of your team that could be considered bottom tier, that makes your roster a bottom tier roster, doesn't make sense to me.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, how is a coach that out of the 2 years that he's been here, his very first year he was coach of the year, and the second year he could have had like 8 games won with a roster that was completely injured. But he's on the hot seat. Why? Because Daniel Jones is still here? I don't know, man. Talk to him, NYG. You're the reason why that segment even exists.
Man, that joint was dope, man. I ain't going front, man. That was pretty cool, man. But the thing about it is, a lot of fans do cry because they want what they can't have. Like, they wish. I remember growing up, I had like Sega Genesis and stuff. It's not because I was rich or privileged or anything like that. It's because my pops taught me how to grind, and that's what he did to get what you want. And so I always had what I wanted because I worked for it, you know. But with these fans, they just want what they want. They don't know that you got to put in work for this. They don't understand that it takes 2 teams to trade. They don't understand that you're not going to get every player you want because you're not first in the waiver wire. They don't understand certain aspects of football, not only on the field, like Coach and Pat points out, but off the field in the general manager role and in the owner's role. And somebody like John Mara, yeah, he's conflicted a lot of times. I agree. I've been critical, but I do agree. He's conflicted a lot of times because he has to balance business with the heart. You know what I'm saying? You gotta that's a different type of balance right there. You know, so this Giants team, I'm telling you, man, this fan base is going to be crying even more and even more upset when the Giants do good. You know why? Because they're not going to be proven right. And that's what this is all about. People like that dude that Pat showed, he just wants to be right about everything. He's a clout chaser. We don't do that over here. We give you the real spill. And that's what it is. A lot of these dudes just chase the narrative. They don't care about what's going on in the field or what's going on off the field. They just chasing the narrative. That's it, man. It's you chasing the girl you can't have. Pretty
That's
much.
a fact.
Let's just call it what it is. Look.
Hold 1 second, Lou. 1 second. Thank you for JCNYC.
Salute.
For the $5 super chat. He says, I think it's just a divided fan base. The common sense and rational versus winners and self-centered and negative humans entitled babies. That's a fact, JCNYC. Go ahead, Lou.
Let's just call it what it is. Y'all need to be subscribed to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network because 90% of the other stuff being made is trash. I said it. Trash. Dumpster juice. That shit that coagulates at the bottom of the dumpster that the rats be feasting on. That grease trap shit behind the restaurant. That. Everybody follows whatever the news analysts say and just regurgitate the same old dumb narrative like a herd of sheep to the damn slaughter. We have our own brain. We think for ourselves. We will not fold, bend, or bow to nobody. We're going to make our content. We're going to give you what you see, and it is what it is. So don't waste your time hitting that subscribe button for none of these losers. Hit that subscribe button for the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Don't be a ninja watcher. And while you at it, go subscribe to all of these great content creators on this panel. Unpopular Opinion Sports, Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports, Big Pat Sports Talk, myself, G Nation Inside Sports, Classified 3F with Joe, Miz in the Midday, Big Blue in the Bronx. The list goes on and on. We got it locked down. We got all your sports needs and concerns taken care of at the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. It's free. You don't got to create an account. You don't got to log in your email information and none of that. It is free. It costs you absolutely nothing to click that button. So don't be a hater. Support the cause and stop being a ninja watcher. You heard? Big Blue Crew Sports Network in full effect for all your sports needs, man. Don't waste your time with nobody else. Hit that subscribe button, man.
Cool. And El Capitan Lou, he actually sent you an actual
Oh, salute.
He didn't type it in. $2 super chat for Big Lou from El
Muchísimas
Capitan.
gracias.
Appreciate you. Coach, what do you think about it if you're still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, whether out in the public, even guys up here. I don't always agree with everyone, and I know everyone doesn't agree with me. It's just, what, when you personalize it, that's where I have my issues. You know what? You want to, as they're saying, you want to cry about it? Okay, cry. I cry about some things with other sports teams. Football, I'm totally different. I admit it. I will admit it. I
ain't lying either.
I am
Them
very
Knicks,
logical. I'm very logical when it comes to football, but that's because I've coached it. So I'm used to it, and it's something that turns on automatically. I don't begrudge anyone else because most people are fans. And what is fans short for? Fanatics. To be brutally honest, that's really what it is. And fans are fanatical. So people want to have their opinions, whatever. But one thing I will say, if you bring up an issue, have a solution with it too then. And I'm going to leave it right there. Pat, you got it.
Yeah, I've always said that, man. If you're going to cry and complain and you're going to stomp your feet and throw vitriol at people and just say wild things towards people and everything, at least have a solution behind it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, DJ sucks. Okay, let's come up with a solution to get a quarterback that's sensible to replace Daniel Jones. What do we do when we replace Daniel Jones? It's always silent after that. Oh, we just drafted a quarterback. Well, what quarterback would you draft? Oh, the best quarterback in NCAA that's coming out the next year. Why would you draft him? What does he bring to this team that will make you think that we will be successful with him at the quarterback position? If you can answer that for me, you can talk about DJ all you want because you have a plan in place and you know what you're going to do once you get rid of him. That's all. That's all I want to talk about. Let's have a sensible conversation because everybody can come on here and just say everybody sucks. Why do they suck? Why, when we get this new player that you're talking about, we're going to be successful? How? You know what I'm saying? Where's the player coming from? This is what you learned in grade school. Logical thinking, processes. That's what we do here with the Big Blue Crew. And we're not going to stop doing that. If you want to come on here, you want to bash players, you want to talk your noise and talk your talk, no matter what people thought, that's my moniker. I always back my stuff up with facts and
What you bringing Sterling Shepard back for? The block?
I don't know. I think my internet went out for a second. Am I back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I thought that was me. I was like, what the hell happened?
yeah, so that was our segment of why you always crying, man. So we'll be right back. All right. Well, we're going to get into the comment section in here where we answer your comments. We're going to be right back after these messages from the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Go hit that like and subscribe button to the very new network that's been created by the Big Blue Crew, where you can get all our content in one central area. The Big Blue Crew Sports Network, man. You guys go like and subscribe, and we'll be right back to get to the comment section of the show. This has been a Big Blue Crew Sports Network production. All right, the link is in the chat for you to subscribe to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. If you haven't done so already, we thank all you guys for your support. And now we're going to get to you guys. This section of the show is for you guys here with your comments. You can ask your comments to us personally, and we'll answer that question for you if we can. So we're going to start with our resident DJ hater, Mr. Kevin Doncic. He says, will y'all defend the offensive line like y'all do DJ? He said SJ because he was trying to put DJ in there so fast he put an S instead of a D because they're right by each other on the keyboard.
Typo.
Right. So, Mr. Kevin Doncic, we would defend the offensive line like we do DJ. Hey, listen, if everybody want to answer this question, you can while we get more questions. And if you do super chat, your question will go to the forefront because you are super chatting, and we want to give you that respect for showing support to the show. But Kevin Doncic, we support this team no matter who the person is on this team. Well, I can speak for me personally. We support this team regardless of position or everything because we just want to win. When DJ plays bad, we actually do film reviews showing you when he played bad and why he played bad and where he needs to get better. We do it for the offensive line. You can ask coach. We do it for the defensive line. We do it for the DBs. We do it for the whole team. This is not a Daniel Jones team. We don't root for Daniel Jones. We root for the New York Giants. Like I've always told you, I've called games for Mike Glennon. I've called games for Jake Fromm. I've called games for Tyrod Taylor. I've called games for Tommy Cutlass the exact same way I call the games for Daniel Jones. You want to know why? Because I want the team to win no matter who the quarterback is. As long as he's wearing New York Giant blue, that's who I'm going for. And that's
G Nation Inside Sports stands for Giants Nation, not Daniel Jones Nation, not Saquon Barkley Nation, not Malik Nabers Nation, Giants Nation. So I would defend the offensive line, the DBs, the linebackers, the defensive tackles, the edge rushers, the tight ends, the running backs, the kickers, the punters. Yeah. That's what it means to be a fan. And guess what? When you're on the team, that's what it means to be a teammate. You're going to defend the guy next to you. You're going to defend your offensive team when you're on the sideline on defense. If a fight breaks out, you're going to run out there and defend your teammates. So, yes, simply put.
NYG, you
All
got
right.
anything to say on it, or Coach?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Go ahead,
Go
Coach.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Nah, you got it.
What I'm going to say in terms of defending the offensive line. Okay, that's what you're asking. Shane has brought in players who have proven they're veteran players. They're not drafting young guys who still need to develop. I've always said it, and I'll say it again. The offensive line takes time to develop. So when you have young players, you have to live with the mistakes. This fan base is extremely impatient, so they don't want to hear it. So what's the opposite? What's the next thing to do, or the opposite thing to do when you draft young players? You go out and get veterans. And that's what they've done. They've brought veteran players in. They've brought, in a sense, grown-ass men to come play where the real football is really won and lost.
In the trenches.
You have Anthony Thomas. I mean,
Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas. I'm sorry. My mouth is killing me today. It's really hurting. You have guards who have played in this league and who have been veteran. You have a right guard and a right tackle that played together and did well in another organization. You also have their offensive line coach who's coming in and teaching guys better techniques and some simple things that most fans will not pick up, but I pick up and I see. And they know how you put veterans around JMS, a young player who has talent. He just needs to be developed, and they're going to also help him grow. And you put an offensive line in front of the skill set that we have here, which will allow them to do their job. So to defend this offensive line, it's an improved offensive line. It's a veteran offensive line. These guys have been through the wars. They know what it takes to compete in the NFL, grown man football. So you wanted me to defend them? There you go. They're going to surprise a lot of teams. They're going to surprise a lot of fans. And when you see this team out there, offensive line-wise, punching people in the face, you're going to end up falling in love with them. And you know what's so ironic? When Sean O'Hare came over here from the Cleveland Browns, many people hated the move.
Mm-hmm.
They hated the move. But he was a veteran. Yes, he didn't do well in Cleveland, but he came here, second chance, and he showed that he really was a good offensive lineman. He was just in the wrong he was in a situation that was not conducive to his play. These guys, Runyon, come in here. You know, many people, I'm not a big PFF fan, but I understand what it does. And people talked about, oh, he's very good in pass blocking. Okay. So what are we talking about with DJ? Giving him the opportune time to pass the ball. So you're bringing in guys who give him that opportunity. Van Roten and Jermaine, those two play together. They know how to pass things off. They don't even have to talk about it. They know what to do.
That's that
They're
chemistry
familiar.
code.
Exactly. They're familiar with their offensive line coach. They can go talk to him and tell him what's going on the field, and he can go ahead and make the right adjustments, which will help guys like JMS be better football players. People were killing him, a rookie. and you're expecting him to be a Mike Webster, one of these elite centers as a rookie, coming from college to a grown man environment.
Crazy.
So you wanted me to defend the offensive line, Mr. Doncic? There you go. If you have anything else to say to Coach Ed, I'm more than willing to listen to what you have to say. You can also hit me if you don't want to do it, hit it in or put it in the chat here. You can tweet me. You can go to my Twitter page and you can leave a message for me there. And that goes for anyone. If you don't want to put it in the chat, you just want to have a private conversation, I'm more than happy to do that. And don't worry, I'm not going to come at you in a vicious manner. I'm talking as grown adults. I'm going to respect you as an adult, and I expect you to respect me as an adult. So there you go. I defend it. Oh, thank you. Okay, I appreciate that.
He messed with you, Coach. He said, he don't know what I would do without you. And that's a fact. Coach is part of this team, and I love him like a big uncle. So, yeah, that's not a slight to me. You got anything on that, NYG, or should we go to the next question?
Nah, go ahead. Coach pretty much hit it. So
exactly. All right, one NYG man, thank you for sending in your chat. He says, "What you think about Kadarius Toney being cut? What was his problem with when he was a New York Giant? Kadarius Toney is a clown, like Miz was saying. This is a guy that Daniel Jones is supposed to put up major stats with, and when he went to a new team, he couldn't even get it done with Patrick Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback in the game, and it's not arguably, he is the best quarterback in the game. And also Richie James went over there too, and guess what? They're both gone. They didn't do anything better that they did over there with the New York Giants, and Richie James, his career was the best when he was with Daniel Jones. So that just goes to prove that what we were saying, these dudes are not substantial for a quarterback to progress. And when he went to the best quarterback in the NFL, guess what? Patrick Mahomes was ready to kick his ass every other game because he was dropping passes and causing interceptions and causing penalties, losing games.
Didn't know the playbook.
Yeah, didn't know the playbook. And you see the Chiefs over there in training camp, they took a shot at him because they were tired of his antics. Now, I'm not saying that's right, what Karlaftis did, but that was the frustration with Kadarius Toney. Nobody on that winning organization, a culture that has been built on winning, likes a guy like that. And they showed it. The Chiefs do things like that.
The fact that Andy Reid took a chance on him after he went through the whole Donovan and T.O. thing, and Andy Reid got rid of him, lets you know that it was a problem. Because a guy with his skill set should be able to go anywhere and play.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. Your attitude, your lack of dedication to learning your plays, and your lack of commitment to your craft is the reason that you ended up the way you ended up, aka the player formerly known as Little Hammy. Go focus on your mixtape career because your football career is over.
He don't have much of a mixtape career either.
I know he don't, but he better
be honest with you, bro.
I mean, does anybody else have to say anything about that?
I beg to differ. Have you listened to what these people are listening to? These morons will buy that dumb shit.
I think his music is the dumbest of the dumb shit, as you say. Pause.
Yeah, it's like that Timmy Turner, Timmy Burner. You get the walking the fuck out of here.
All right, well, we don't need to spend any more time on. Enough with the clown. All right, Kevin Doncic. This is not a question. This is just something I want to say. He says a whole generation of being terrible. Of course, we're impatient, coach. Well, first of all, we're not a generational terrible franchise. We're the only franchise to win a Super Bowl every decade since the 80s. So you might want to learn a little bit about your franchise before you say a whole generation of terrible. We could be like the Vikings, never won a Super Bowl, 4 Super Bowls and losing. We could be like the Bills, 4 Super Bowls back to back and losing. There's all NFC.
Lions never been.
One. Yeah, we could be the Lions and never got one. We could be the Cardinals and never got one. We could be, hell, we could be the Bears that haven't won one in almost 40 years since 85. You know what I'm saying? So we could be a whole lot worse, sir. I'm just being honest.
49ers 30 years, Cowboys 28 years.
Facts.
Lions never been at all.
I mean,
13 years is not a generation, first of all. But
right.
Anyway, I digress.
JC NYC, he says, y'all see us getting a veteran DB soon?
We need to.
No. To be honest with you, I'm just gonna give you an honest answer. No. Unless we make a trade, there's no veteran DB that's out there right now. You can't touch Xavier Howard because of his situation, his legal issues. I mean, a Killer Witherspoon, maybe, but who else is out there besides a trade? And if we try to trade now, they're going to try to take everything from us. Like if we go to the Panthers, we already joshed them for
because we're desperate. Yeah,
we already joshed them for Brian Burns. You think they're going to give us J.C. Horn or a third or fourth round pick? Man, they were like, you got to give us a first round pick. We already gave you Brian Burns for less than what we wanted. So,
but then again, that's his man. So I don't know. I mean, like, that's his homie. So
I mean, he's my homie, but I ain't gonna keep.
He ain't gonna give him no freebie this time. But I think if Shane wanted J.C. Horn, he could go get him. I just don't think the Giants want him.
Facts. Let's see. Let's get to another question. Let's see what's Iman says, wait, the Chiefs cut him? Man, yeah. I knew he was gonna get cut. A winning franchise? That's crazy.
And one thing real quick, Pat, there's only one receiver Daniel Jones has played with that's still on the NFL roster. That's Darius Slayton.
Yep, that's it.
Because Hodgins got cut to the practice squad.
All right. Well,
who else is it?
That's it.
I mean, beside Hyatt and Wandell, the people that's on the team, whatever. I'm talking about, the old regime up until this point. That's it, man. It's Darius Slayton.
Now,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, just to go right here. These two right here are kind of interesting too. He says Texans show the way of how you can get a rookie QB and have a ton of success. Texans are in year 2 of Stroud and already Super Bowl contenders. Both of those are very, very, very true. But the thing
James got cut, Diella.
Yeah, Richie James got cut. The thing with the Houston Texans is you don't see anything past CJ Stroud that they were doing. They already had pieces in place there. Their offensive line was already there. They just needed to get better together. And they brought a coach there that could bring out the talent that was already there while infusing talent. Those 2 years before CJ Stroud even got there, he had a foundation when he got there. He had a decent offensive line. He had Nico Collins. They drafted Tank Dell. They brought in Dalton Schultz. And they had Singletary and a bunch of running backs there already. And that defense was already there. So the coach that they brought over, D'Amico Ryans, who's a defensive-minded coach, got their linebackers playing to where they were playing excellent. They were already there. Their safeties were already there. Most of their defensive front was already there. They drafted that kid from Alabama to add to him. And now, when you have your foundation set, you can bring in people like Stephon Diggs to go in there and try to get you a Super Bowl, to open that Super Bowl window up for you. Talk about the other things besides the quarterback. It wasn't just CJ Stroud. And that's the point that a lot of people are not getting. That's not no CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's an amazing quarterback, and he's going to be good for a long time, as long as he don't get hurt.
I want to ask Kevin Donkick a question real quick, because you saying something in the chat right now. You wondering, like, because they had the number 2 pick, that they were just a bad team. Remember, what pick did the Bears have this year? Number 1 overall, right?
Yeah.
So they wasn't the worst team in the league, though, bro. And I'm gonna give you another example. What pick did everybody love the Chargers? They love Justin Herbert. The Chargers had a higher pick than the Giants. Do you think the Chargers roster is worse than what the Texans put out there? You know what I'm saying? So again, it's not about what it's not about, you know what I'm saying, what the record is, so to speak. You got to look at the roster differently. You know what I'm saying? That's my main point. You can't just look at the record, because a lot of people got the Bears as playoff contenders this year. How does a Bears go from a playoff contender? I mean, from a number one pick to a playoff contender by just adding Caleb Williams? Bull crap. They built a squad. To Pat's point, you got to read. You can't read into records and fluff level stats. And I'm gonna make a video talking about that fluff level stats, because all that's what y'all look at, fluff levels. Oh, look at the record, look at the touchdown, look at the interceptions, look at the QBR. Like, no, bro, it's look at the DVOR or DVOA. Like, no, it's more to it, man. You gotta watch the game from a film level, man. That's why I respect Coach and Pat so much, and Lou. They are studying the game. Lou's coaching, Pat, of course, coach, and then you got Pat. You know what I'm saying? Who studies the game at an elite level, and this is what I'm getting into. So that's why you can't just look at stats. The Bears have built a squad for Caleb Williams, and the Texans did the same thing for CJ Stroud. You got it, Pat.
Yeah, that's a fact. You gotta, like I said, and everybody says this too. Like, what was Nico Collins' stats before CJ Stroud got there? CJ elevated his game to another level. No, CJ was just able to get the ball to him, sir. CJ didn't make him a better route runner. CJ didn't make him faster. CJ didn't make him catch better. You know what I'm saying? The people were already there. They did that whole. I'm sitting here calling the season. I'm telling people, like, the Texans before this, the Texans are putting that boy in a good position.
And you know what people are missing? People talking about CJ Stroud. You know who else they added that year? Will Anderson Jr.
Facts.
Y'all got it, man. I can't keep.
A lot of those people were already there. Noah Brown showed up for them last year. Sometimes you just need a coach to make those people play better. They could get more out of the players that are there. Sometimes you just need to get certain players to believe. And DeMeco Ryans, when he came over there, his influx of energy got those dudes to believe. No quarterback makes a receiver. I don't care what you're talking about. No quarterback makes a receiver. He cannot make him run better routes. He cannot make him catch the ball. He cannot make him faster. He cannot make him smarter on the field. Get in and out of zones, learn how to get down the zones. They do that themselves. But, Coach, you got something to say on that?
No, you good. Go ahead, man. You got it.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Why you think Justin Jefferson can put up over 100 yards? What was that quarterback? Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins throwing interceptions all over the place.
Yeah, Joshua. What was the other guy?
Oh, Josh Dobbs or people like that.
Yeah.
Name the quarterbacks D-Hop played with over with the Texans before Deshaun Watson got over there. Name all the quarterbacks Larry Fitzgerald played with.
I was about to say that, yeah, before Kurt Warner. Yeah.
Name the quarterbacks Andre Johnson played with. And how can you say that we have a foundation? The only thing we're missing is a quarterback. You're just proving our point. We have a foundation with this team, and if DJ is not the guy, we bring in a quarterback. So if we bring in, let's just say we bring in Shedeur Sanders, and we come over here and we have a good season. Will it be all Shedeur Sanders, or will it be the foundation that was already built before Shedeur Sanders got here?
No. That makes too much sense. Stop that nonsense.
That's a fact. That's what I've always said. I said I want to see a foundation built for the quarterback when he
I've
gets
been
here.
screaming that shit for 3 years.
I'm not a
On
Daniel
YouTube.
Jones lover or all that crap that y'all want to call people. I want to see what he can do with a foundation. And if he still sucks, he still sucks. That's it. Let's go get a quarterback that we could bring in here. A lot of people made fun of me on Twitter when I said that boy from South Carolina, the quarterback. What's the guy? I can't think of his damn name right now. Coach, he played for Oklahoma and got replaced by Williams. Spencer Rattler.
That dude is.
A lot of people said that he was trash, and I told people, well, that dude got talent.
Spencer Rattler's good. I was thinking about the other cat that they wanted to pick up, Desmond Ritter. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That dude trash.
Spencer Rattler has talent out of this world. He just needs a foundation around him when they get over there. And guess what? If Derek Carr messes up with the people they got over there with the Saints, you're gonna see Spencer Rattler. Now all of a sudden, Spencer Rattler, look at him throw this pass. But when I said 2 years ago, I would like the Giants to pick him up maybe in the 3rd or 4th round, and the 3rd round is where he went. Like I said, he was going to go. Now all of a sudden, people talking about Spencer Rattler. Man, the Giants could have got him. When I was talking about him 2 years ago, he was calling me a moron.
And shout out to Alex too, man, because Alex actually interviewed this guy.
Yep, sure
Big
did.
Blue in the Bronx, a Big Blue Crew member interviewed Spencer Rattler at the NFL Combine. And, he himself said, this is somebody the Giants could be interested in. And I think if the Giants would have got their corner in the 2nd round, I think there's a possibility to take Spencer Rattler. You know what I'm saying? If they could move back up. Because I think he went, 2nd or 3rd round? I think 3rd round, right? So I think they Rattler.
He went in the 3rd.
Yeah, I think the Giants might have took him with that 3rd round pick, man. I really do, man, because they were interested, man. As reported, man, by bro Alex, Big Blue in the Bronx, man. Go sub up. But yeah, you got it.
That's cool. So, I mean, this was the comic section of the show where we try to answer all your questions here in this 30 minutes of the show. I'd appreciate it for everybody that participated, but we're going to get to this commercial break. This podcast is brought to you by, this podcast is brought to you by the Big Pat Sports Shop. Go cop your merch at the Big Pat Sports Shop. The new New York Giants full access merch is at the Big Pat Sports Shop. And we're going to be right back after these messages. What's going on, Big Pat Sports Talk fans? And welcome to Big Pat Sports Shop, man. We got merch. We got merch now, man. 15% off everything, man. We have everything that you need as a Big Pat Sports Talk fan. Man, we got shirts, we got bags, we got hoodies, we got mugs, even aprons. So go ahead, click on that, what you're looking for, get that hoodie, get whatever color you want to get, whether it's red, whether it's blue, whether it's navy, whether it's green, whether it's black. Add it to the cart, and we got you. And that's it, man. Go purchase Big Pat Sports Talk merch and support the family, man. And welcome to Big Pat Sports Talk. Thank you for your support. And thank you guys for participating in that segment. And this right here, Darius Tony, you already know what it is, man.
Looks like we got another one! On the ground! This is the Gulag. In here, you fight to win back your life. Gates!
All right, so any last things?
Yeah, I have something I want to say.
Before we get out of here,
I have something to say, Pat.
Go ahead, Coach.
And this goes to the whole Giants fan base. I love y'all. Whether y'all like me or you agree with my takes or not, It don't matter. I love y'all. Why? Because we're Big Blue. And I'm going to fight for you. Even the ones who disagree with me and call me names, whatever, I'm going to fight for you. Why? Because we family. It's just like I'll do with my siblings. If they get on my nerves, I'll hate them at that moment. But ultimately, we family. I'm going to fight for them. I'm going to fight for Big Blue because I love this team. I love this community. I've been rocking with this community since 1979. So I love y'all. Just always know that. Even those who may be sitting in the back watching and, coach don't know what the hell he talking about, I still love y'all. Those who, on the other spectrum, we're so divided, still love y'all. Why? Because we're Big Blue. Because when in the end, when that whistle is blown and our team lines up in between them white lines, we all want to see our team punch the other team in the face and come out with the win. So that's what I wanted to say, man. Y'all got it. Go ahead.
All right, Coach.
Yeah,
Anybody else got any last things before we get out of here?
And like
Yeah,
Coach
subscribe
said,
to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network, or I'm gonna send Coach to fight you.
NYG got anything?
Yeah, man. But like Coach said, we all Giants fans at the end of the day, and we all troll each other, go back and forth, man. I don't take a lot of that shit serious, for real, because I know, man, we live different lives out here in the world, so the real lives. You know what I mean? So, you can have your opinion about the Giants. I can have my opinion about the Giants. We could spat about it. We can hash it out. But that at the end of the day, what's going to solve everything? As my man Lou say, man, that fifth Lombardi, bro. That fifth Lombardi, man, bringing that back home. And that's going to squash a lot of beef. It ain't going to squash it all. I'm going to be honest, because a lot of y'all done broken some rules. Yeah, a lot of y'all done broken some rules, but it'll squash most of it, man. So, man, just root for the team to win, man. That's all I gotta say, man. But you got it.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say too, man. All in all, whether you like DJ or not, or whether you like Evan Neal or anybody on this team or not, hell, I have my transgressions about Boogie Basham, but even I turn around and say, hey, look, the dude improved. You know what I'm saying? I just still say he's absolute trash when I seen him improve. You know what I'm saying? He actually looks a little bit faster. Maybe he lost some weight, or maybe he just believes that this team believes in him to go out there and do something. He made the 53, and he actually looked pretty decent out there when he was playing. Surprised the hell out of me. Right. Tell him why you mad, son. What up, Joey Cruz? Appreciate you tuning in. I'm gonna root for this team no matter what quarterback name is on the back of that blue jersey. I'm going to support him when he goes in there to play because I want this team to win. And yes, that Lombardi trophy is all that matters. That is absolutely correct, Mr. Doncic. So whether you hate people on this team or not, or whether you approve of them being on the team, this is the team. And I'm going to root for the Giants no matter what. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for all of these great content creators. And if you want to see us in one central spot, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. I'd like to thank everybody that's been watching from the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. We're almost at 130 subscribers. It has only been, 5 days? So thank you guys for supporting everything. People like A-Train, Joey Cruz, Mission Man is back. So it's time for football. So I'd like to thank everybody I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. And until the next episode, you know what it is, man. We're going to get into this outro for the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. This has been a Big Blue Crew Sports Network production. Oh yeah, we didn't forget about you either, Kadarius Toney.
Looks like we got another one! On the ground! This is the Gulag. In here, you fight to win back your life. Gates!